Well, I was discussing about the results, and I have. Can you hear me, everybody? I was discussing about the moderating impact of your categorical variable, how it impacts. Well, it was again interruption from the internet, but let me start again. I was discussing about this output view, and I was letting you know that how can we interpret when our moderating variable is categorical. So you need to understand that there are three categories here in this data file. There are three categories. The first category is basically temporary. The second category is basically today. Today the internet is causing too much disturbance, but I have connected now with a more efficient network, and I hope that it will not disturb again. So let me start over again. I was letting you know that there are three categories of our moderating variable. The first one is the temporary, employment type with temporary, the employment type with fixed contract, and the employment type with permanent. So if we consider the employment type as a temporary, the first the first dummy variable would be 0, and the second dummy variable would also be 0. But if we consider the second category of employment type as a main variable like fixed contract, the the first dummy variable will become 1. Basically 1 shows the impact. If you remember how I basically measure the impact of a dummy variable. So whenever we want to measure the impact of a dummy variable, we use the 1 value. So in case of if you can see these. All right, I was discussing that these are the three categories of your moderating variable. So you have understood that wherever the 1 appears, it means that you are basically considering that particular category of your moderating variable. If 1 appears in first category, it means you are considering the temporary group of employment type. If 1 is appearing in W1, it means that you are considering the fixed contract type of employees. And if 1 is appearing in W3 category, it means you are considering the permanent type of employees and you are ignoring the others. So this is how we can understand the idea of W1 and W2. And these are basically the dummy variables. So in case of W1 and W2, if you can see here, the W1 with reference category 1 and W2 with reference category 1, the other category, which is temporary, is being ignored or taken as a reference category. So how about the model summary? The R is indicating 92.77. It means the multiple correlation between your independent, dependent, and moderating variable is 92.77, which is positive, which is highly positive. Your R square is 86.6%. It means your dependent variable, which is project success, is 86.6% explained by the variance of your independent variable and your moderating variable and your interaction variable. Your model is statistically fit because it is less than 0.05. You can see the impact of your independent variable is positive and it is highly significant. You can see the impact of W1, which is basically the first category, and W1 basically indicates the fixed contract employees. You can see here. It means that the impact of the employees with the fixed contract showing a positive impact, which is weakly significant because the value is greater than 0.05, but it is less than 0.05. 0.10. So when the p value is less than 10% but greater than 5%, it means there is a weak impact. T value is also less than 1.96. It should be greater than 1.96, so as to consider a highly significant impact. So we can say those people who have the fixed contract might have a positive impact which is weakly significant if we consider the impact of SGT on PS. In the same way, if we see those employees uh, who have the permanent job type, or who have the permanent job type with W2, they have a negative impact, but it is not statistically significant. So this is posing an insignificant impact of permanent employees. So first interaction term, the interaction between W1 and SGT, it means the interaction of your fixed contract employees and your SGT, short duration training. It means we have considered the first category, which is temporary category, as a reference category. So their results does not appear here. So first interaction term indicates a positive but insignificant impact. You can see over here the p value is not significant, neither the t value is significant. So first interaction term is not moderating the impact of SGT on PS. But if you can see the second interaction, which is W2 with SGT. So when we are seeing the interaction of SGT with W2, it is showing a negative and significant impact, with the p value is equal to 0.05, and t value is approximately 1.96. So it is basically the significant impact, and the negative value shows that it will reduce the impact of SGT on PS. So interaction term of SGT W2 basically reduces the impact of SGT on PS. So this is what we conclude from here. You can also see this graph. You can see over here the R square change. R square change is also very weak. It means by including uh, two moderators, the R square change will the contribution of R square change would also be very weak, because the p value is greater than 0.05 but less than 10%. So it means there is a weak contribution of R square if we include two moderators. If we exclude one moderator, like if we exclude W1, which is not significantly impacting or moderating our relationship, our R square may change, or it may increase in terms of p value. So you can see over here, you can also see the individual impact, like the category 1 impact is 90%, and it is significant. The category 2 impact is also 91%, and it is significant. The is effect size of your permanent job holders is also very large, but it is significant. But in terms of interaction terms, they are not significant or weakly significant. So this is how you can interpret it. So this was the advanced case of your simple moderation. Let me explain you another case where you can include two continuous variable. So if you include two continuous variable, what will happen, or what will the case may be, and how your results will change. So if you include two continuous moderator, the diagram will appear like this. You can see the diagram, conceptual diagram. You can see there is a first moderator, continuous moderator with M, and there is another continuous moderator with W. So when you include two continuous moderator between your independent and dependent variable, your statistical diagram will look like this. You can see the impact of X on Y, then the impact of M as a first moderator on Y. It will show you your second coefficient, the impact of your second moderator on y. It will show you third coefficient. Then you will see the interaction of your first moderator with x. It will show you your fourth coefficient, and then you will see the interaction of your independent variable with your second moderator. It will show you your fifth coefficient. So this is how basically the software works when you analyze the data. So let me explain the same example final data set. Let we have the following combination of variable, like we have the dv project success, which is continuous variable. We have short term duration, or we have short duration training as a continuous. We have the first moderator, which is continuous as a effective schedule. We have the second moderator as a flexible schedule, which is continuous variable. So what we want to analyze, is the impact of short duration training on project success is significantly moderated by effective schedule and flexible schedule. So in this case, we have two moderator and both are continuous. No one of them is basically the categorical. So what we need to do, we go to analyze, we go to regression, we go to process version 4.2 by Andrew Hayes. What we need to do, we need to put our dependent variable in y variable list. We need to put our independent variable in short duration training in x variable list. We need to put our first continuous moderating variable in the moderator variable w, and we need to put our second moderator in moderator variable z. So these two boxes can be used with two moderating variables. So what we need to make changes in options box, we need to go to the option box, we need to click on generate code for visualizing interaction. We need to select the last option, we need to select the condition value last option from here, and we need to uncheck the categorical multi-code categorical variable which we have previously checked. So we need to make sure that we have unchecked these boxes. So click continue, and I will show you how this works. So let me check from here before going to the next topic. We need to apply the whole process over here. All right, we go to the analyze, we go to the regression, we go to the process version Hayes, like our dependent variable is project success, our independent variable is short duration training, and our first moderating variable, what was that? That was effective scheduling. First moderating variable was effective schedule, and second moderating variable was flexible schedule, ES and FS. So we need to choose them, ES and FS. This is ES, this goes to the first moderator W, and FS, this goes to the second moderating variable Z. One thing we need to find out from here, because we are applying two variables or two continuous moderating variable. So what we need to check as a model number, I will share this file with you. You need to verify according to the graph what we are doing as a model number. So if you can see, this is basically the model number 2. If you can see over here, here are two moderating variables and both are continuous. So it is model number 2. You can see over here, this is model number 2. So you need to make changes over here as a model number. So you need to click second model. If you run this setting with first model, it will give you error. So you need to verify whether you have running the proper model number or not. So it is model number 2, so you need to check it, and then you go to the option boxes, and what options we need to select from here. We need to select, just a minute, what options we need to select: generate code for visualizing, only continuous, and ST. All right, only continuous, we need to select it, and remaining all remains same. click continue. Then we go to multi-categorical and we need to uncheck this was checked because previously we have used categorical moderator. So we need to uncheck this because this time we are not using categorical variables. So just click continue, click OK, and you will find the results. You need to wait for a couple of seconds and you will find the results. It will appear in some seconds. Haze process is basically a complicated process and sometimes it requires sometimes to show you the results. So here it is. You can see here. First of all, you need to see your model. Model number 2. Your dependent variable is project success. Your independent variable is short duration training. Your first moderating variable is ES, your second moderating variable is FS. So both are continuous variables. So sample size is 456. Then you need to see the R, which is multiple R, which is multiple correlation between the variables. It shows that there is a positive and highly, this is a strong positive multi-correlation between all the variables like PS, like SDT, like ES, like FS and interaction terms, because this indicates the multiple correlation. Then there is a R square. R square indicates that how much your dependent variable explained by the variation of your independent variable. So we can conclude over here that project success is approximately 90, more than 90% explained by the variation in SDT, ES, FS, and both interaction terms. So this is how R square is basically interpreted over here. Then you can see the p-value which is less than 0.05. It means our model is statistically fit. Then you can see the coefficient values. Here we need to understand different coefficient values. Just ignore the constant value and you can see the SDT, which is short duration training. It is positively impacting and it is highly significant. Then you can see ES as a moderator for the direct impact. It is showing the positive impact and it is also highly significant. You can see the FS as a direct impact. It is positive and it is also indicating strong positive impact. While we can see the first interaction term. The first interaction term is the interaction between ES and SDT. The product of ES and SDT is interaction 1. The product of FS and SDT, the product of FS and SDT is basically second interaction. So this is first moderating impact and this is second moderating impact. If you can see the first moderating impact, it is very little. It is positive and very little, and the t value and p value is not significant. It means the moderation of SDT and ES is not significant over here. And you can see the second interaction term is significant and it is basically decreasing the impact of SDT on PS. So we can conclude over here that the impact, sorry, this is decreasing the impact but it is not significant. However, the impact is basically, or the strength has been decreased. We can conclude there is no significant impact of second interaction term, but it has somehow changes, somehow decreased the impact of SDT on PS. This can be verified with R square change, and you can see that the interaction between your SDT and your first moderating variable, there is no R square change and it is also not significant. Then in case of in case of second interaction, there is a slight R square change, positive change, but it is also not significant. It is significanting at 34%. And in case of both in case of both in case of inclusion of both moderator, there is a r square change of approximately 0.0008, and you can see it is somehow decreased the p value. So might be by including by increasing the sample size, or by considering the other moderating variable value, maybe the p value may be somewhat better. So the combined effect is much better. The combined effect is much better as compared to the single impact. So this is how you can interpret your model. So I hope you have understand up to this point. So now we are going to the last part of today's session. If you have any question, you may ask, or we may simply proceed further. If you have any question, you may ask. Please let me know in the chat box if you want to ask something up to this level, or we can proceed further if you want. Please let me know. Can you let me know if we can proceed further? Dear participant, if you can hear me, please let me know. Can we proceed further? Please let me know. I think we can proceed further. All right. Well, there is another case which is relevant with simple mediation analysis. Uh, you need to understand the idea of simple mediation analysis. What is the idea and how we can apply it? Simple mediation is a statistical analysis that investigate the indirect effect of an IV on a DV through a single mediating variable. So whenever your independent variable is impacting your dependent variable indirectly, uh, using a third variable or intervening variable, or you may say that another variable is explaining the impact of your independent variable on your dependent variable, you are dealing with the mediation analysis. So in other words, it explored whether the relationship between an IV and DV is influenced by an intermediate variable, and if so, to what extent. So purpose of simple mediation. The purpose of simple mediation analysis is to understand the mechanism or process through which an IV affect a DV. It helps researcher identify and quantify the role of an intermediate variable, the mediator, in explaining the relationship between the IV and the DV. For example, in a study examining the relationship between a new teaching method and student academic performance, a simple mediation analysis might reveal that the impact of teaching method on academic performance is mediated by student engagement with the material. So if students are engaged, the teaching method may be more effective. But if we would like to analyze the teaching method on academic performance, and students are not engaged with the material provided to them by their teacher, the academic performance may not be very effective. So in order to explain the impact of new teaching method, the teacher need to provide some material for student engagement in order to see the impact on academic performance. So you can say that in order to see, or in order to explain the impact of independent variable, we need some mediating variable, so that the combined effect of both of them may enhance or may explain the impact on academic performance. So what are the basically what are the examples of simple mediation analysis? You may see that exercise and stress reduction, investigating whether a relationship between the regular exercise and stress reduction is mediated by improvement in sleep quality. If you want to analyze the impact of regular exercise on stress reduction, and we want to explain the impact of regular exercise on stress reduction, we can explain the impact using the sleep quality. If a person is doing regular exercise, he may have a good sleep, or he may need to have a good sleep along with regular exercises to reduce the reduction. A lot of psychiatrists suggest that if a person is facing some depression in his mind, he need to take regular exercises and he need to have a good sleep. So it means if you want to analyze the impact of regular exercise on stress reduction, you may need to include sleep quality as well with regular exercise, because along with regular exercise, with the sleep quality, or sleep quality with regular exercise, can potentially or significantly reduce stress reduction. So hypothesis would be regular exercise may lead to better sleep quality, which in turns reduces stress level. You may have some scenarios related to leadership style and employee job satisfaction. For example, the scenario examining whether the relationship between leadership style and employee job satisfaction is mediated by perception of organizational support. So organizational support basically explain the impact of leadership style on employee job satisfaction. So what hypothesis might we have? Different leadership style may influence job satisfaction by shaping employee perception of organizational support. In the same way, we might have some research related to technology use and academic performance. The scenario would be exploring whether the relationship between the use of educational technology and academic performance is mediated by student engagement in learning activities. So, learning activities may explain the impact of educational technology on academic performance. The hypothesis would be the impact of technology use on academic performance may be mediated by increasing engagement in educational tasks facilitated by technology. So if we want to explain the impact of technology, we may need to consider engagement in educational tasks in order to see a positive impact on academic performance. So this is how mediation works. So in order to fully understand this analysis procedure, we may go further. How the simple mediation analysis works: you can see a conceptual diagram where x is impacting the y, and x is also impacting the m, and m is in return impacting the y. So you can say that there are two dv's at initial stage. X is impacting the y as well as x is impacting the m, but y is also impacted by m. So we can say when we are considering a dependent variable y, it is impacted by x as well as by m. But when we are considering x, x is impacting y as well as m, but m is only impacting the y. So this is how you need to understand the simple mediation analysis. So how can we understand, or how can we analyze our mediation analysis data? You go to the analyze regression process by Andrew F. Hayes. You need to select show total effect model, because in case of mediation analysis, we need to have total effect model, because it will include the direct effect and indirect effect. So total effect means the direct impact and indirect impact. So we need to have the total effect model, and we need to adjust no centering because we are not using any moderation analysis. Whenever you are using the mediation analysis, you don't need to use any product method like all variable that define product or only continuous variable. You need to choose no centering. It means that you are not considering any kind of moderation. You need to select a 16th, 15th, and 84th percentile option. You need to click the Johnson-Neman output, and you need to click continue button. You need to put your dependent variable, your independent variable, and your mediating variable. So in this case, I have included optimize schedule as a mediating variable. So what are the results? If I can see the results, you can see the model, model number 4. Yes, you need to understand this. Well, again, I am sharing the screen. I was telling you about this file. I will share you this file with you. This is model 4. You can see over here, when you are going to run the mediation analysis, you need to use the model 4 as a part of your analysis like this. So I was how I need to use it. I go to regression, then process by Hayes. I need to include Y variable project success, X variable short duration training, and I need to put a mediator over here. And the mediator was optimized scheduling. I need to put it over here, and I need to exclude both moderator from here because I just want to know the impact of mediation, and I need to choose model number 4 from here as per the required standard of Hayes process. I need to go to the option. I need to check the show total effect model. I need to select no centering. I need to select 16, 15, then 84 percentile. I need to uncheck Johnson-Neman output because it does not require in case of mediation. You need Johnson-Neman output in case of